everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. We are here on this Saturday night at Texas Motor Speedway. Interesting couple of facts about this track is that turn 1 and 2 had been modified by this point in time. Drivers are having a little bit of trouble fighting around that turn, saying it's extremely tight in the middle and freeing up almost on turn exit. They are desperately trying, not only the Lockridge team out there, but even the NSR team. They're trying to put a package together here at this Gen 4 league that is an open setup league that these guys are going to be pressing around out there to find their exact spot out there on the track where they're going to be able to smooth out a little bit, where this car is going to feel just right. And will this car actually come around? Now, they have been doing a decent bit of practicing there. We've got somewhere around, I don't know, maybe about 30% build up there on the track. Normally we start seeing the cleanup crew and the prep track crew. These guys end up smoothing it out down there and knocking it down, but they'll be knocking all the high tops off. And these guys will have some tackiness going around the track. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what tonight's race is going to consist of here at the Samsung 500, the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series. 134 laps. I believe that currently has been adjusted down to a 100 lap race. So they're going to try to squeeze this down. And if I'm not mistaken, I'll double check 100% in the back. But what I will try to find out there is if there is anything going on in the background for a competition caution. I am fairly certain there's a competition caution that would be happening at lap number 50 out there. 100 laps here tonight, that fuel percentage. And we're going to run us with 4 sets of tires down there in the pit. Obviously, with this being an open setup league, they keep it as real as possible. So no fast repairs. You guys have got to be careful. But boy, oh boy, 119 degrees out there on the track. And we'll see how that is going to fare for the drivers. I know a couple of fast drivers out there. Brian Wiggins was one of the fast ones. And Mark Sikosi, no surprise there. The number 8 in his Chevrolet, but extremely fast. But we finally have one of our Ford Tauruses out front here tonight. And Lilith Peters rejoining back here with the NSR Series, I believe has stolen away the pole here for tonight. She's been on a tear here, and I think she would love to come away with her first NSR win here tonight. So this is going to be definitely a tough race, not only for the Lockridge team, but for the Sikosi racing team out there that he is currently heading off. All right, checking out there, guys, double check. I know, like I said, we are on a backup computer here at SimTraX, so I've got to make some volume adjustments that I had fought for about 6 months. No longer are they set here. So Jay, let me know, and Devin, let me know if we still are fighting some of that noise out there with being too high out there on the music. I know we got a few things that have to be adjusted out there, but we'll try to squash it before it gets out of hand. Warm-up should be completing here in just a moment. Rather small field here tonight. We are definitely hoping for more drivers here in the coming weeks. If you know any drivers that are looking to join up, I guarantee you. I would say right there is probably a good idea if you were having other drivers that are looking for a League 2 race on. That is going to be the time. This is the place, and these are the cars. Right now, Gen 4 is the hottest car on the circuit. Everybody has been switching to. Normally, you've seen the next-gen cars out there. We've seen the Gen 6s back in the day. We had the ARCA cars, but now the Gen 4s. This is the car of the iRacing future here. Everybody enjoying what they've got going on. I love seeing what's going on with these guys out there, and whether or not they are going to determine whether this is going to be the league or not you want to run into. I would say yes, these guys are tough. These guys press hard. These guys don't really take a whole lot of chances. There were a few fumble ups out there. I knew when we had that little tangle up there with Justin Cope and Jared Magoon a couple weeks ago, that ended up bringing a few head-scratching moments out there. And some of these guys, I would say, were probably a little bit on edge out there right now, seeing how they're going to be starting out there and how they're going to be tumbling and working well with each other. That's going to be the question. I'm very, very interested to see how this continues on. But let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid. Not too big here tonight. So like I said, if you guys are thinking about rolling it on out here, make it happen. Lilith Peters and Justin Sumner will be starting in that front row. Moving on to Robert Wiggins and Lucas Crump. Not bad. Looks like Robert Wiggins, I noticed he joined in a little bit late here tonight, as well as another driver that we see down, actually not down, up above as Justin Sumner. Showing him in the number 10 car. He should be actually out there in the 94 to be correct. So right now a little late in there, and then he'll be okay, but you can't miss him. I believe he will be in a McDonald's machine. Let's move on back to Guadalupe Hernandez, who currently sits down in 5th next to Jason Crumley, who will be also sporting a McDonald's machine out there in the number 9 Chevrolet. Final row is going to bring us with Mark Sikosi and Brian Wiggins starting 7th and 8th. Devin Lockridge is going to be our awesome RC out there, and we'll definitely hold on to it, and we'll see how it's going to go. Now, Sumner, Lilith Peters, those two are currently running in the Lockridge team. We're going to see them get underway here as the green flag is out. Away we go. The Samsung 500. Quick split up here. Lilith already trying to see if she can make a difference here and start pushing out front. The Tier 1 setup shop is already making a huge stride. Already splitting their way from Justin Sumner, running the exact same setup. So I would say your guys here in the front sitting 1 and 2, we're going to see what they can do for the rest of the field. We've kind of run into this before with the NSR series. Is you get a team and the team does really well, and then they start making separation from the rest of the field, and that's just what you got to do. If you were thinking about coming here to this league, definitely bring your friends, as all you guys can come up with a setup out there. Off as right now, Mr. Hernandez smacking the wall there in the Mike Waltrip car in the 15 Napa machine. Goes ahead and takes his Chevrolet. Unfortunately, this is going to make him lose the draft. See, he's 2 seconds off of Jason. He's way back now. Up front to a driver who's shifting up a couple of positions. Sikosi, Brian Wiggins. Currently, that is the number 8 and the 5 car out here. Down the backstretch. Decent clump of cars right here with Sikosi looking to the inside of Robert Wiggins. Wiggins out there in the 26. Lilith Peters still leading this race. Right now, Justin Sumner is taking a peek. Sumner to the inside. Lead change here on lap number 4. Justin Sumner going to take over. Lilith Peters goes ahead and moves her Ford Taurus out of the way. Make way for the Chevy Monte Carlo that pulls out front. Lilith Peters going to play chase here for a little while. I don't expect her to pass back. She is a very, very patient driver and can seem to come out of a lot of these situations. But notice that high line for Lilith Peters does pay off, starting to gain once again here on the front stretch. Let's move back here to where Brian Wiggins sits, sitting down in 4th. As they get through turn 1 and 2, the different variable banking that they have there, they go across the front of where the Jumbrotron would be sitting. During this year, it was actually run by Panasonic. Thanks Stella for that one. Had her feed me a little bit of information before we get this race underway. Lucas Crump is now sitting in 5th. Right now, we'll take a ride along on top here with Sikosi. This rolling on here. Stella out there giving a wave, saying the picture is amazing. Get a little better with that. I knew we had a stutter stream on Wednesday. Assuming that's what you mean. I know we had a little bit of a cloudy issue at the last track, but we were able to clear that up as well. So hopefully Mark Sikosi's Budweiser Chevrolet is looking extra good out there. Super shiny. Budweiser machine slings to the outside. Like you might not have gotten the right angle there, but it pays off. Boy, slides on through Sikosi back up to 5th. He's going to tuck in behind Robert Wiggins there. Wiggins has been able to fend him off. Lilith Peters dropping off by about half a second off Justin Sumner, who's taking over the lead. Big shout out there to Hernandez. He's currently sitting down in the 8th spot. Would love to come back alive, but I would say don't check out yet. Competition caution has been confirmed. Lap number 50 is when we will be bringing it to a stop there. And we're going to put tires on these guys, clump them back up, and sling them back out there. So that's awesome. Let's check in on Jason Crumley. Yeah, gets the pass, puts Robert Wiggins in the rear view. So Sikosi and Wiggins go ahead and pass on through. Moving Sikosi and Crumley up to 4 and 5. Wiggins now down to 6. 10 laps complete here. Justin Sumner already diving into turn number 1. Huge amount of distance between him and the rest of the field here. This is an excellent run by him, by the Lockridge team, as they have gained a 4-second gap. And I knew out there in the chat, Lockridge Motorsports was saying they're going to be a bit sketchy at the start. I'm not feeling that. Not even a little bit. Seems to be they have no problem out there. They are continuing this roll. Excellent job here so far. Currently, we still see the drivers pressing on. Justin Sumner seems like he won't be beat here. Might be able to squeeze it out toward the end. Brian Wiggins currently sitting down in 3rd. Now, Brian Wiggins, that dude has gained 5 here on the night. Not bad. Rolling on back. Lockridge out there saying, hanging in there, doing the broadcast. Yeah, normally we kind of chop it a little bit short here. When we got few drivers, we definitely, I would say, almost the NSR's calling was the short track racing. We definitely had almost 25 drivers out here smashing into a half-a-mile track. We get to these mile and a half, and everybody kind of peters off a little bit there. Nothing against Lilith, sitting in the number 2 spot, but we are definitely pressing on here as this race continues to keep going. We do appreciate Devin Lockridge for taking his time out there and providing race control here for the lead. Looked like Jason Crumley was almost about to have a run there on Mark Sikosi. Pulled him in about 15 thousandths of a second there and then started falling back just a hair. Doesn't seem that Mark Sikosi doesn't seem worried about it at all. Sikosi has moved up 3 here on the night. Interesting enough here, the Samsung 500. 15 laps started now, 14 completed. Right now, Sumner still leading this one. As they spread out pretty far, though, everybody else is really concerned about one thing on this car. And oddly enough, it is not the full line. The right front tire, they are saying, is almost coming off of the car, and I don't mean loose. They get into turn 1 and 2, and this thing just wants to shred off on the side. You'll see the marbles start building up around the turn. And that, honestly, for any race team, that is not the best thing you want to see out there. As they continue to race out there, battle back and forth, you're going to notice that how this car sets up, and they almost say it feels oddly weird out there how the car handles. I mean, there's so much power underneath the hood. We're nudging the edge of 900 horsepower out here, and then trying to put it through a turn that is now a variable banking out there, and that's definitely what they are having the most trouble with. So I hate seeing that for the teams, but they have had all week to figure this out. They definitely spend all week building these cars, so I guarantee you, I've been in the same situation where you end up building the car and you are taken out in the first 5 laps. That just feels like kind of wasted your time and your life out there, but it does happen. Unfortunately, with I would say the only fortunate part about having a low number is this is where you get to test out your build in a small crowd rather than banging doors with other guys out there. All right, we kind of keep a peek around here. Hernandez looks like he's rolling back to Robert Wiggins. I don't know if Wiggins has a problem here. Wiggins is falling way back. Down to the last spot of spot number 8. He is about 22 seconds off pace. I don't know if Robert Wiggins has suffered some sort of damage out there on that race car. Checking out there, trying to check right there. That right front tire's got a problem. Right now, we'll keep an eye out there on Robert Wiggins. Currently, he's not going to be happy with that car. I believe he may go down a lap here pretty soon if they are not careful. Right now, Robert Wiggins and his team are starting to work it out there down in pit, trying to see what's going on with that race car. He may come down into pit after not too much longer here, and they may have to make an adjustment, see if they can fix that thing up. Check back in on Jason Crumley, who looks like he's got a line here on Mark Sikosi. Sikosi snaps up toward the wall. Yeah, look at Crumley's line here. Crumley is just trying to pass him. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's see if we can hop on kind of our Michelin chop review with these two. Crumley getting a good run in. Unfortunately, looks like he does not get the run out. It's Sikosi. Whoa! Brian Wiggins. Caught that live right there from the Michelin Chop Reviews. We'll get a look right here at the Quaker State number 5 Chevrolet. He went from going up 5 positions, cutting himself down to 3. Gets loose coming out of turn number 2. Doesn't look like he has suffered too much damage on that race car, which is a good sign. Does mean he is already showing signs of fatigue there on the tires. It's going to be a rough night for Wiggins if he can't figure out how to calm that car down. Lap number 23 underway, Justin Sumner. If we thought he did pretty well there in the front, he is doing even better. Right now, as Sumner has pulled away, and I normally was pulling away there with Lilith Peters, actually has left Lilith by 4.4 seconds. Currently, Lilith has got this thing on a roll here. It does not seem to be affected by it at all. We roll back another 6 seconds where we find Mark Sikosi, who's being closely held by Jason Crumley in the number 9. All right, I talked earlier about guys coming down pit. Hernandez is now joining down into his pit box currently. Number 15 looks like 4 tires and fuel for him. And the 26 currently sitting in his pit road, but I am not seeing a right front tire on that car. Well, let's see if we can take a look. We got plenty of time here. Let's see what happened. Yeah, and the 26 has broken it off. That is amazing. 26 able to limp it all the way back. I guarantee you Robert Wiggins will be down and out here for the night. He will not be returning. And we'll see what in the world is going on there with his vehicle. Hopefully we'll have a better opportunity here to see if he can fight back and come up with some sort of a fix. I don't think with that amount of damage will he be able to return. Get somebody down there to float down, possibly with a microphone there, and grab a hold of Robert Wiggins. We'll see if we can grab a hold of the number 26 Chevrolet down there. Let's check back in. Robert Wiggins, you got a copy? All righty, buddy. Tough race here tonight. What in the world happened to the 26 Mobil 1 Chevrolet?
It was just too tight, and I was trying to get out of the way of the leaders and hit the wall and lost the tire.
Dude, I was going to say, well, all right, well, let's start a little before that. We noticed how you were running up front in the top 5 there, but unfortunately ended up rolling backwards and actually ended up getting closer to Guadalupe Hernandez there in the number 15, and then was passed by him. Was there already trouble with the car before we got to this point?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, my tires just really fell off pretty quick, and then that was it. So I was just maintaining position at that point.
Okay, well, we nudged in there a little bit during pre-race, and the right front tire was a factor here tonight, whether it was going to be the win or lose situation. Guys are fighting back and forth. I believe the quote was, it's tight in the middle and loose on exit. You know, how, you know, were you kind of feeling the same thing out there?
Yeah, I think the latest changes helped stabilize the rear coming out of exit, but just way too tight going in, and then it just had to pretty much coast through the turn.
All right, well, Brian Wiggins is out there trying to hang on to third. Anything, updates from your team? I mean, are these guys going to kind of stay with the same setups, or is everybody looking at definitely an adjustment when they come down in the pit?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty new at this, so I'm not sure what those guys are going to do. I was intending to come into the pits and make some changes myself, but then I had too much damage, so my car's done.
Oh, bummer. All right, buddy. Well, hopefully better luck next time. Robert, appreciate you talking to us here, buddy.
Yep, of course.
All right. Had a chat there with Robert Wiggins. That's one driver down here on the night. He's currently been sitting in his pit box for the last 4 minutes trying to get that thing pieced back together. We'll occasionally check in on him to see whether a wheel gets back onto that car or if he has bent it up. In the middle of that interview, quick little update there, that actually Lilith Peters and Justin Sumner had come down, our number 1 and 2 drivers. Sumner with a slight adjustment there on lap number 27, but Lilith Peters came down on lap number 24. Same team, 2 different setups here. As we can see out there in the chat, the Lockers Motorsports is even doing us a favor to go ahead and ping us and let us know that there's just a little bit extra going on in the background. So I think it's pretty awesome. If you guys check out there in the chat, wow, the 15 off the wall almost takes out our previous leader of the race of Justin Sumner. Sumner goes ahead and squeezes on around in the McDonald's machine and is going ahead and getting away. Trying to be as fast as possible. Currently, he's trying to catch up to Mark Sikosi. Sikosi's still leading this race, though. Sikosi and Crumley sitting 1 and 2. Brian Wiggins, after his slip up there, about a handful of laps ago, Brian Wiggins snugs into the 3rd spot. This is already making for a rough race here. So Hernandez currently sitting 6th, is down, I believe, 2 laps here. Excuse me, only 1 lap. Crump is down a single lap, and Robert Wiggins may be down and out here for the race as we creep up on the 5.5-minute mark. Right now, I would wonder at all if Jason Crumley has got anything from Mark Sikosi here to see if he can kind of bunch these cars together or if he's going to get past. Right now, I am impressed to see Mark Sikosi stretch out so far out front and has yet to pit. Currently, as he breaks into lap 34 here, and we are still looking, I believe, about another 15 laps before competition caution will come out. And these guys will have another opportunity. So drivers who are laps down do need to continue running because there's a second half, and they'll have a chance to reset and rebuild. Be able to get back out there and try this once again. Crumley getting close to Sikosi again. Right now noticing they don't have any options here to see if he can pass around the outside or on the inside. Even complaints during the Xfinity Series, there's trouble making passes, and Crumley makes the pass underneath. Great job by the number 9 as he pulls away. Goes ahead and gets Sikosi a little out of shape. No contact, though, but great run he had. And he presses on. Sikosi will now be staring at the back there of the McDonald's machine. About a half a second back now. Let's check back in on Sumner. Sumner currently is sitting now 6 seconds above his teammate of Lilith Peters. I think Lilith definitely is going to have to drive this out all the way to the stage break. I don't think they're going to change anything up. It's interesting to see which part of the field has separated and which has decided to take the front half of this stage and go ahead and stop these guys. Cockroach Motorsports is so confident in his setup out there. He was thinking maybe he could run them back down. We take a look at our timer here. Justin Sumner is currently sitting 12.5 seconds off the lead and currently is taking half a second off just through that turn. Whoa. All right, well, in the meantime there, then we'll go ahead and do just that. Let's take a look at our battle box as he runs down. Brian Wiggins, 5.7 seconds in closing. Talk about what a set of fresh tires will do. Check out Sumner. That's 4.7 now. Good Lord. Right now, seeing if he's got anything for him. He's going to try to maintain this speed. I would wonder if at all, if this is going to be any sort of trouble here. If he's going to, when he runs him down, if he's got any tire left. Notice how Justin Sumner crossing the line there. He's looking for that little number 3 bubble you see exiting at the top right. As turn number 2 he is exiting. And the 4 still running him down 2.5 seconds behind. Currently, if we look at times, Justin Sumner is currently running 2 seconds faster than Brian Wiggins per lap. So it should be imminent danger here for the number 5 of Brian Wiggins out there. Wiggins will be popping into our screen here in just a moment. I'd like to give a shout out there to Fubar Studios and Track Day 4 Vets. I was going to take a look at them and check out what they do. I think they do a lot for our guys out there. On the outside, 94 on around. Justin Sumner continuing to turn. I don't know if he can do it though. 3.5 seconds before he can find Mark Sikosi. He's got 9 laps. Taking a look at our times, 31:08 by Justin Sumner, 33:23 by Mark Sikosi. Boy, that would be something if he can end up running him down here. I think they might head back to the drawing board. We'll see if Sikosi almost looks like he's in slow-mo here as Justin Sumner starting to roll him down. Now 1.3 off Mark Sikosi. Good Lord, that is now 2.4 seconds faster than Mark Sikosi. And Justin Sumner is actually falling off his own pace. He was running 30-second laps. Watch the 94 here. To the inside, Sumner now to second. Oh, Sikosi, I think, got loose. Ricochets off the wall now. But give it to Jason Crumley. A round of applause. People standing up in their seats now, currently watching the number 9 run for his life here. Currently, as Crumley tries to stay away, though, 4 3/4 seconds and closing. Sumner will be looking to see if he can hold him off. If he can get around Crumley. Currently pulling it down to now 4 seconds. Right now, Sumner still flying around this track. He's been gaining about 2 seconds per driver, except Crumley. Crumley with a 32.81. Sumner, 31.24. Boy, this is going to be close. I think he might be able to get him. I'm actually quite impressed with how fast Sumner is moving. Brian Wiggins decides to come down into pit. Unfortunately, that is going to put Wiggins a lap down here. That's going to allow Lucas Crump to be our lucky dog. Crump did come down in lap 24. But Wiggins is going to have to reach in his pocket of tricks here and see if he can come up with the speed he needs. come to the competition caution. Our first driver should be waved around. And Mark Sikosi coming on down. That leaves only one driver left who is yet to pit, being Jason Crumley, who's in the lead by only 1.3 seconds, and that is diminishing quickly. Keep tabs on whether or not these guys are able to fly around the track the same way that Justin Sumner was. Jason Crumley staying out front. Sikosi currently leaving the pits. And I do believe Sikosi will go a lap down. That is only going to leave Jason Crumley, Justin Sumner, and Lilith Peters on the lead lap. Boy, look at this. Right now, Justin Sumner cutting the track there a little bit. You see him slice off a little piece of that grass, and he runs him down. He did do it. Amazing. Let's check back in on Lilith Peters. He's got to make up about 8.5 seconds to catch Crumley here. And with 3 laps, I don't think so. Let's check. All right. Guadalupe Hernandez coming back down into pit. Wiggins has passed Mark Sikosi out there on the track. Currently, Sikosi would love to see if he can run him down, but they are going to be pretty even here with the tire wear. Sikosi sitting back about 2 laps. About 2 laps later than Wiggins' last pit stop. See if that changes anything. All right, so Tier 1 setup shop, guys. Have their driver out front, and now he's put a 2.5 second gap. That is pretty impressive for a guy who just joined the league. Not but 40 minutes ago. Got in here, was able to lay down a bunch of laps, got accepted into the league, came out here, and is now smoking the tires off this thing. Caution does come out. Competition caution goes ahead and waves here, so they are going to throw it as soon as lap number 50 starts. Instead of completing lap number 50, that's okay. RC's in control. So Brian Wiggins should be our driver around. I think Sikosi would be a little uptight, and Wiggins got to be, a little nudge off the wall there. Got to be a little conscious here of what's getting ready to happen. I give it to Crumley. He was able to make the entire stage without pitting. But it's a 3-second gap between Sumner and Crumley before the caution flag came out. So this is a competition caution that we see here. Working hard. All right, and even Jay out there saying he's putting in that work. Guarantee it. So Sumner goes ahead and takes away our stage win. I think Lucas Crump is supposed to be past the pace car here, but we'll see how this unfolds here. If they're going to go ahead and push the 04 around. So drivers coming down into pit road. I guarantee we're going to see 4 tires and fuel here for all drivers. And now we are still waiting for some of these guys to catch up. Sikosi's looking to stay out to get his lap back. Brian Wiggins, lucky dog on around. He's tearing around the track as fast as he can. That way he can try to get down into the pits for 4 tires and fuel back in this thing. Now, his tires aren't very old. They came in on lap number 42. So this should level it out a little bit. Sumner will have tires on lap number 51. So we'll see how all this holds out here. if anybody else has any opportunities or if anybody is going to make a different one. So I would say that if they are able to drag it out here, check back in on our chat, and I was really hoping that was going to be the case. Not only is this going to be a stage, but they are also going to put all drivers back on the lead lap, which really, if you think about it, drivers saved, like Hernandez, boy, I'll tell you what, he's going to be happier out there seeing that number 15. He will have to start at the back of the pack, though. Unfortunately, he did qualify 5th and has had nothing but bad luck since. Seems this race is all about saving those tires. As you can see, I would question, because Justin Sumner, the way he was driving, there was nothing left of that right side out there. We'll keep a poke in there and see what all he says, and see if we can have a chat with him here real quick, and hopefully he'll have some information on us, and hopefully we don't bug him too much out there. We'll see if we can grab Justin in the middle of this. Alrighty, Justin Sumner, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
That I do, sir.
All right, well, I see pace car lights are still on, so we got a little bit of time. Hoping your team isn't hashing it out too much there, and you can give us a little insight. You ran down Jason Crumley, who did not pit. I mean, you were blazing speed, somewhere almost 2 seconds per lap faster. Now, obviously, the call is 4 tires and fuel, but when you ran down Crumley, how bad were your right tires this last change?
They weren't too bad. Had a little bit of temp in my right rear, so I got to be careful with my right rear. But all in all, it was still pretty good. So I feel good going into this last stage, and we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, when we see the Devin Lockridge Motorsports team, you guys are definitely rolling out there. Lilith Peters is running a little bit a different setup. What's how different are we talking?
That I don't know. I haven't even ran this car. It's the first time I've ran it. So Devin just gave me a setup. I'm not sure the difference, but I'm liking it so far. So we'll see how it goes.
Apparently, you not only left Jason Crumley, but you finished that stage 3 seconds ahead of him. I mean, that's impressive. You were able to pull away with that one. So we'll let the 94 McDonald's machine, and I got Spidey senses tell me I'm going to find you in the top 3 somewhere.
Well, hopefully so. We'll see how this last stage goes. Appreciate you, Tom.
All right, thanks, buddy. All right, we're going to send him back up to his respective team that is going to be ready. Devin Lockridge going ahead and barking out a few orders. RC getting ready to let the green flag fly yet again. Seeing that everybody's been driving pretty clean. Whoa, what's happening with the 15 here? Uh-oh. Green flag is out. Sumner's almost going to look like a greyhound here, chasing down the rabbit. Hernandez is running for his life right now, as I think they were trying to get Hernandez the wave arounds and unable to get him back on the lead lap with enough time. But we are back under green. Sumner, Peters sitting 1 and 2. Can Lilith do anything different? See if she can outsmart Justin Sumner. Let's move back to Brian Wiggins, who's currently 3rd. Remember, he was our lucky dog around, get back onto the lead lap. And Sikosi was as well. That's going to leave us with 5 drivers still on the lead lap, though. And right now, see, Lockridge even saying time to play catch the rabbit. Yeah, I guess so. I almost feel like this one was set up. All right, check in on Jason Crumley, currently the 04. Lucas Crump working around the outside. That's currently a lap down car. We'll check in on our leader. Sumner currently pretty close to Hernandez. Hernandez is still able to squeak away, but Guadalupe Hernandez has actually had some trouble out there with that right front tire. Will he be dealing with the same thing out there? We'll hold our breath and kind of keep an eye on it. Mark Sikosi holding 4th. Crumley is 5th. still out there getting a good little chuckle out there as Lockridge is trying to let us know that RC is not playing friends here tonight. That's all right. Even some of my cameras that I've adjusted have gone have decided to go back and give us some faults here. I want to talk about that. I mean, when you take a look, here's Jason Crump. This is his roll bar view. This is Lilith Peter's roll bar view. I like mine better. Take a look at how she's doing. And this is Ryan Wiggins' view. See the amount of skills these cars go through. Oh, we're riding on with Ryan Wiggins, and he almost redoes his spin out here. Currently, his car is loose. You see him sliding into the turn. Yeah, something's wrong here. Ryan Wiggins may have made an adjustment that has made this worse. Wiggins trying to hold on to it. Slipping and sliding loose is one thing, but it also costs him a bit of time. This is about 16,000th of a second here to Mark Sikosi. Sikosi now all over. As I say that, he goes ahead and lets off here. Both our drivers, Guadalupe Hernandez and Lucas Crump, currently both of these guys are down 2 laps. Robert Wiggins still has yet to return. 23.5 minutes sitting in the box. Normally they wheel him back to the garage and tell him to fix it. All right, here comes our leader on the 15. Hernandez. Oh, 94, using a little bit of that draft. I know, hard to kind of communicate up there with a lapped car that I need you to stay high, but don't worry about me slinging in behind you. Definitely a lot of things can happen when you get to a situation like that. The driver will end up being told to stay high. You go high, and the driver gets behind you. You think you didn't get the radio up, and then you'll see the 15 car sling down, or a driver that is being lapped sling down, and then end up wiping out the leader because you're not sure why the heck he ended up behind you. But I get what Justin Sumner's doing, trying to get as much draft as he can. You can see Hernandez still has not gotten that right side figured out here. That car is not fading up the track out of turn number 4, which is just applying more and more and more pressure to that right front tire. Kind of keep an eye here on the 15. I don't want to poke at him here in case he's having a real bad problem. But you can see his race line just isn't hanging in like it should be. There's a nudge to the wall. But dive in, kind of compare to Lilith Peters you see in the top. Watch how Lilith Peters fades out. He is a whole nother lane inside. So that could either be a too tight of a race car, which is allowing the back end to get loose on him here, or he's having to hold that wheel down, and that is just applying more pressure. The right front tire, see, once again, it's not floating out, so he's actually having to steer it to the outside. A little trouble here from Hernandez. Let's move up to Lilith Peters, currently sitting in second. No problem there. Crump actually coming down into pit road. Unscheduled here for the 04. Right front tire has now rejoined back on the 26. And hopefully we will see the 26 return back to the track. At least to promote the sponsors and get him back out there. The Mobil 1 Chevrolet has been down since lap number 21 here of the race. Right now, I think Lucas Crump not happy with what was going on out there. And Hernandez coming on down. So lapped car is the way I look at it, as well as the rest of the field. He's got nothing to lose. He's already laps down. Let's try to see if you can fix and straighten that car up and learn a little something more for next time we arrive here at Texas Motor Speedway. Currently moved back here to the 3rd position as we wind ourselves up the field. Sikosi holding in third. He definitely had a ton of not a whole lot of distance, but gains a ton from Brian Wiggins on turn 3 and 4, and that's because Wiggins is working his way down in the pit. Quaker State, number 5 car coming on down. This is one of the races that Terry Labonte ended up pulling out of the Kellogg's car. I think a lot of people get confused with the number 5 and the number 18. Between the Quaker State and the Interstate battery car. I always say a green car is bad luck out there, but can't say it. Jay out there rooting on the 26, asking him to do it for the fans. Get his butt back out there. Yeah, I would love to see him resurrect his race and get back out there. See it, 27 and a half. Lockridge Motorsports saying I saw his helmet fly that day. Yep. All right. We'll check out there with Lockridge Motorsports. He's got a little more access than we do here, even since we're in the booth. We do have access to a few of the drivers. We'll ask Devin Lockridge if he is able to find out if Robert Wiggins is able to return back to the race. The car is looking in better shape, as they are still working extremely hard down there to get that car put together. It's got a heavy lean to the right, though. That would be my only concern, but they are still working on that front. Seems the suspension may be fixed, but now it's bodywork time. We'll see how much more time he's got left to go. Come on, he's been trying out there. Right now he'll have just over 29 laps left to get that car back together. Spread as apart as we are, I do not believe we will be seeing a caution here. Lilith Peters not falling off as bad as she was before. Currently holding a 1.2 second gap up to the front, so Lilith Peters may have gotten the adjustment she needed here. Lilith is now pulling in within 1 second. I don't think Justin Sumner is going to be pitting anytime soon here. They realized how fast that car will or will not go. Normally I don't let anybody out there do any soliciting out there on our chat, but Lockridge Motorsports is actually running the Tier 1 setup shop. You can see that from Lilith Peters' front nose here. I was looking for a setup here, possibly a winning setup. You were seeing what's happening right now. Sumners and Peters out front. Right now, even from Lilith Peters, we are having to look back 8.3 seconds to find Mark Sikosi, which is wild. See that Mark Sikosi, who's been really on a winning streak here, is actually getting getting his doors blown off here by 10 seconds. Justin Sumner coming out here, who just joined the league. So, interesting run here from these drivers. If you guys think you got something to hang, join the NSR team. This league is definitely looking for drivers, and I'm not quite sure what it is. We can get you guys in here, but no one wants to stick around. You gotta get your butts back out here and race. So, and we'll see how many people come back out and start joining up. There may be a little extra something starting into the next season. I believe even on Tuesdays, we're getting ready to start up a truck series, if I'm not mistaken. We're getting a truck series ready to go on Tuesdays. We'll be putting butts and seats there as well. Trying to wind this league up. This league is a great league. I've got to say, you know, you guys have hung around for a long time. Even before I started broadcasting, this was actually the league that ran the ARCA cars with the old paint schemes. So seeing the Gen 4 right now, actually being the ARCA car with the old paint schemes. This is almost exactly what they're used to. They just beat iRacing to the punch. That had been at least 4 years ago. So these guys have been doing it for quite some time. They are leading, and I think that's why some people get a little nervous out there, because this league definitely starts leading in front and coming up with ideas before anything happens out there. All right, as we've been kind of wandering off there, talking about the league and getting you guys to get out here and behind the wheel. A few pit stops have happened. Wiggins came down on lap number 67. Justin Sumner and Mark Sikosi came down on lap number 75. Jason Crumley did as well. Don't want to check him out, but still one driver. Yet to pit since lap number 51. Lilith Peters still hanging out there. Currently, the entire field is down by a lap. Now we're starting to check some of our timing out there. Lilith Peters with a 31.88, Sumner with a 30.4. I'm looking at pit lane time of about 40 seconds, so Lilith Peters should be snugging into somewhere around 4th position if she pits this lap. Each lap she stays out, she loses 1.4 seconds, if not more, and that is going to unfortunately hurt her later in this race. So right now, Lockridge Motorsports is getting ready to shoot the harpoon out there and try to reel her in. We've got about 20 laps left here. And do it. Get out of here. Checking out there, Lockridge Motorsports. I was going to kind of say that here. If we got to in less than 10 to go, it was going to be a hint that Lilith Peters may not pit here. If Jason Crumley can make it, that means Lilith Peters is going to have to be extremely careful. If a caution were to come out, that's going to totally scrap the whole situation. That does mean Justin Sumner, who's catching up to make the pass, to get back onto the lead lap. It's going to be close. Brian Wiggins coming back down into pit. Heavy damage to the right front there. So we've seen the looseness not once, not twice, but we know for a third time and for a fact here. The number 5 Chevrolet is having trouble. All right, Lockridge Motorsports definitely radioing up out there. As the pass is made, Sumner back onto the lead lap, but needs to come up with 32 seconds to take over the lead. Now, Lilith Peters has to take care of that race car and maintain a decent amount of speed here. Sumner can make up 2 seconds per lap. He will actually be able to wrap around and catch Lilith Peters here in the end. Currently, they are most concerned about that right rear tire. Maybe an idea. She may have to start changing her line and running a little bit higher. Try to give that right rear tire some time to cool off. Checking our times, 32.24 by Lilith Peters, 30.6 for Justin Sumner. That brings him to under 30 seconds of getting around here. Sitting about 15 laps away from her first NSR win. Showing some problems out of the 15 here, showing off-track amounts. Currently, Hernandez just cannot get that car to do what he wants it to do here. Sikosi goes ahead and slings on around. Check out there in the chat. She won at South Boston? I thought Sikosi won there. I'm going to be mad. I thought Sikosi won there. I'll double check here. Make sure this is in Nashville. Yeah, Southern Nashville. I'm showing Sakosi with the win. Man, what you talking about, Willis? Checking out there. I guarantee, even if you don't know and I can't find it, we could probably sick Stella on it. She can seem to always find something out there. To find it. I don't know. I'm checking back at our results, and I am not seeing a win out there. If I'm not mistaken, I thought there was something, but it was a Dega race. Because she did not come in for a interview. I remember that part. Hickory hasn't been this year, you bum. Oh my God. I'm not buying it. Nope. Spidey senses tell me that was a Spidey senses tell me that was a recruitment race. All right, let's give a quick update here. Lilith Peters still out in front by only 20 seconds, 10 to go. All right. And you almost wish you could come down pit road, throw right side tires on, and get back out there. Ugh. It's going to be close, and it's going to be tight all the way to the end here. 9 to go. Sumner, 19 seconds behind. Yeah, right now Sumner seems to be checking up just a little bit. He had been gaining about 2 seconds a lap. Currently, tire fall off is happening. 31.25. 20,000 slower than his last run. Peters running with a 32.89. Going to be a run and gun here. Hopefully RC is able. Hopefully Peters is able to hold out and RC is able to throw out the white flag on time and not be looking at a lapped car. Just giving Devin that one. All right. Check it out there in the chat. Stella, no Peters on the podium. I thought we had a recruitment race at Daytona, and Lilith Peters was sitting top 3. So, that may have been also last season as well. Right now, she is squeaking by. Let's see if she can make it. 7 to go. 16 seconds out front. Currently, Sumner's starting to pick up the pace again. I'm checking just his speed. And he's already about 7 miles an hour faster. He's trying to dig here. No other battles out there on the track. Mark Sakosi is out in front of Jason Crumley by 12.5 seconds. Lucas Crump is down almost 6 laps. Wiggins is down 9. I think Hernandez has turned it in here for the night. Wiggins' last pit stop lasted 3.5 minutes. Hopefully Wiggins was able to straighten that car back out. We saw he did suffer some damage on the front nose. LJ Hernandez out there saying, man, what a terrible night. Yeah, a little rough out there. It seemed that those right side tires just did not keep up with you. And you were not the only one with that problem. Right now, we are currently watching Sumner, with 5 laps left to go, has cut down to under 14 seconds. Doing just that. Trying to save his tires, but trying to catch Lilith. Lilith trying to stay out front and save her tires. And this is going to be something as the fuel window is no longer an option here. We got to go to the end. 4 to go. Peter's holding out. Right now that's Sikosi you see in the background. Sikosi would love to have one of his laps back. He came in on lap number 75. He is still yet to pass Lilith Peters. Justin Sumner is the only one to get his lap back. Right now, everybody is rally capping out there for Lilith Peters. 12.5 seconds, Justin Sumner. Looking close, only last lap it was 14. We make up another 1.5 seconds. Currently Sumner's last time with a 32 seconds, and now Peters with a 32.88. Currently Sumner slowing down heavily. Right now, unsure if that 94 machine is sticking it out or if it's finally given up on him. Does Monte Carlo have enough here? Under 12. 11 3/4. Still picking up. Oh, it sidesteps him. Boy, Justin Sumner is wheeling that car. Loses a little bit of time, but saves the car. Don't think he's got enough here. Just about 2 laps left to go. Lilith Peters should be rolling out of turn number 4. Number 99 underway. White flag next time by. Sumner to 11 seconds. Yeah, he would have to pick up almost 5 seconds a lap, so Lilith Peters in a pretty comfy position. And goes ahead and lets Mark Sikosi on by. Just go on around. Sikosi running about a second faster. Lilith Peters just trying to hold on to the car. All right, RC, get that flag out. White flag this time by. Awesome job here. Track day for veterans, and Fubar Studios should be proud of this. Lilith Peters only half a lap away for coming away with a win. As she exits turn number 4, we come to the line. Excellent job here. Lilith Peters crossing the line. Winning the race here. RC going to throw out the caution, which is signifying the finish of this race. So Tier 1 Setup Shop doing a heck of a job here tonight. Both his drivers, 1 and 2. Hopefully we will see the Jareds, Hayes, and Magoon next time you guys join us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. I know you guys have subscribed out there because you ended up blowing up my chat. Right, Jay? Stella? Devin? LJ? Yeah. And you guys know where it's at. Awesome job here, guys. Awesome, awesome job. Appreciate you guys joining us as the burnouts will start here for Lilith. He deserves this one. All right, Mark Sikosi was able to finish down in the 3rd position. Hate saying down in the 3rd position because he was close. Hopefully we'll be able to run Mark Sikosi down. I'm currently showing him as wandered off here. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and pull up our unofficial results here. Showing right now, Brian Wiggins is still running around the track here. go through our top 10 as we currently do not have any end of race results. Justin Sumner will be placing second. Lilith Peters ended up coming in the number 1 position. Mark Sikosi was third. Awesome job here, guys. Hold on. We'll try to run our drivers down here real quick, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, everyone. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Third place goes to Mark Sikosi out here. What a tough night here, man. A lot of drivers trouble with that right side. Wait, I assume you dealt with the same stuff.
Yeah, the car was out of control tonight. We started off where we had a little bit of a delay with unloading in the rear, so it was a little tighter. And then we tried freeing it up, and we just couldn't do it. We couldn't free it up without having the thing be out of control from where we had it. We got it okay in that last run there, but we had nothing for Devon's guys tonight. They hats off to them. They had something pretty good tonight.
Yeah, they did a heck of a job here tonight. Now, I would say, a couple of things that they were able to do is everybody, even talking to some people out there, was just being able to conserve that right front. And not only the right front, the right rear came into play, which was very unusual. I'm used to seeing the next gens or the Xfinity cars, and that right front just seems to be a pain. Guys are saying the right rear was some trouble as well. So, and then the option of to pit or not to pit tonight was a huge factor that I don't think anybody took into play.
Yeah. Yeah, if your car was out of control free, you'd start burning up that right rear. But the majority of the time, it's going to chew up that right front, and it does more. It's chewing up these tires more with this new car than it did with the older car. It's a lot more noticeable. This thing is a lot more out of control, especially on the mile and a halves. That first run, we had to come down with like a handful of laps to go before that competition yellow. We just the right front was burned up. They wouldn't let us continue. We had invalid laps, saying we had damage because of the right front was just so worn. This new car in a mile and a half, 2 miles, I think it's going to be a challenge for us.
Yeah, I guarantee it. But we move now to the chase for the Cup. You've got multiple wins here on the season. But we moved to I believe it's the Pop Secret 500. Yes, at Auto Club Speedway out there. Well, nice wide track there. We should have a little better luck.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be, the setup is, I'm assuming, we haven't done any testing there yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be somewhat similar. We're going to want to run a somewhat similar package to what we're running for the mile and a half. So we got to get something figured out. Otherwise, we're going to be struggling there too.
All righty. Well, we'll let you keep getting to it. I like talking to you about the setups a lot here, Mark, because I know you guys put in a lot of time to get these cars just right out there. And we'll let you get to it. Go and give me your shout-outs here, buddy, and tell me what you got to do to get people into this race.
Huh. if we knew exactly what we need to do, we'd have them. But we have payouts coming for next season. We have payouts coming for the top 5 will be getting paid out weekly. Your champion will get paid out at the end of the season. We have a Ricky Rudd Ironman Award for the driver with the turns the most laps, most starts, and then turns the most laps. And then we have a Mark Martin award, which is going to go to the cleanest driver, the one with the least amount of incident points. Hopefully that should pull some people in for next season. As far as this season, we have some fun tracks coming up and get warmed up with this new car for next season. Auto Club, nice, wide, big, easy track. I mean, it should be a lot of fun. Yeah, we got to thank our sponsors. We got to thank Food Bar Studios with the Trex Bay for veterans. They do a lot for this league. We have a new sponsor coming on for the Truck Series on Tuesday nights. We got to thank the ones that show up week in and week out. Even with these smaller fields, they just keep sticking it out. We got to thank them. To everybody that's watching still on YouTube, we got to thank them. I know I don't mention them a lot. I forget to. We forget, because we're in that driver mentality and the league mentality, but we got to thank them as well. We have a lot of people that watch us every week, and we appreciate them. And of course, everybody that helps put this on, all the other admins, Wiggins, Cope. We got to thank Devin for doing race control every week. Doug for the sponsorship. Yeah, hopefully we can keep it going. We feel like we're starting over again, but we don't quit. We'll be back next week.
All righty. Yeah, no more breaks. No more breaks. All right, Mark.
Yeah, that hurt a little bit too.
Yep. The Budweiser Chevrolet coming in third. Congratulations, and I'll see you at Auto Club, buddy.
All right, see you there. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Awesome job by Mark Sikosi, but unable to run down Lilith Peters. Justin Sumner, able to do it once, but not a second time. What a run this was all the way to the end. It seemed like that car just let go on you just at the wrong time with about 10 to go.
That it did. I just pushed too hard trying to get back to Lilith, and that ended up biting me in the butt.
Dude, what is there anything you could have done to change it? I mean, did we just push a little too hard, or we needed Lilith to pit on that one?
If I would have stayed out, I may have been able to do something, because my strategy was just to go hard for 25 laps and then go hard for 25 laps. I pushed it a little bit too hard that second run, trying to get back to her. So I think if I would have went in with the mindset of just staying out and easing up on my tires, I probably could have made it, and maybe it would have been different. But definitely, if she would have pitted, I think I'd have been just fine.
Yeah, we were looking.
And I come out
time.
one spot higher, but.
Yeah, we were looking at some of the time of when you guys pit, and I think she would have had to pit a lap or 2 laps after you did to maintain. After that, it was too far gone, just with pit lane time and how fast you were just behind her. It was kind of a it was a choice that had to be made pretty quick, and it was definitely apparent with about 15 laps left to go, she was not going to do it. Seeing that we definitely figured out that you can do it with Jason Crumley, that you had a heck of a time running him down, but then almost passed him like he was standing still out there, but unable to do most of that. Man, so you joined the league. How hard was it to do?
Well, like I said, this is my first time in this new Gen 4 since they've updated it, and I'm not a huge fan of Texas, but I knew that just hop in here, kind of just be a little bit easier on the car, because you can't go full throttle in these corners in this car. It'll spin. So I knew I just needed to be careful with the car. Devin gave me a good setup, so I appreciate them for helping me out there. But like I said, it was a spur of the moment type thing. I think I had enough time just to transfer my paint over to this new Gen 4, and that's about all I had. So this session was my first laps with this car. So I mean, all in all, it was a fun night. I learned, either way, the pit strategy was going to work. Either one of us was going to finish P1 and P2. So I'm happy with the car, happy with the result, and looking forward to possibly racing again.
All right. McDonald Chevrolet did an awesome job here. Seeing you're looking to race again, I'm excited to hear that because Auto Club is next week. Confidence level if you're heading there.
That's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be a little sideways off the exits. Dive in. Man, that's going to be a fun track. Definitely would be action-packed for sure.
All right, I hope so. Some people definitely decide to jump down toward the bottom and make the passes. I found a little bit of success riding 3/4 of the way up, but I've never driven the Gen 4s there, so you were going to be the pioneer there to figure out what's going to hold. Justin, go ahead and give me a shout-out here, brother.
Yeah, appreciate Devin and the Lock Ridge guys, Lilith, working with me here. These guys, appreciate you guys for putting on the stream. I've got Amanda Made Customs and Designs, Sambo's, and my teammates over at the Black Car Mafia with Terry, Scotty, Rick, and not Rick, but Rev and DC. Appreciate those guys, and once again, appreciate you guys. Looking forward to the next race.
All right, Black Car Mafia. All right, I may have to see that on the side of the car. Good luck to you, buddy, and hopefully we'll see you in a podium position next week.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll keep it going.
Yep. Good luck. All right, Justin Sumner, awesome job here. And the first time I heard her voice, one time, Lilith Peters. All right, we come away with a win here. How's it feel? You can do it. Come on, Lilith.
Sorry, I was muted. Hi.
Hi. How's it feel coming in a winner circle here?
Pretty lucky that I survived. I had 13% on my right rear.
Well, were you nervous at all that Justin Sumner was going to run you down here?
I figured he would. I didn't think the tire would hold up.
Now, how in the world? Now, we noticed you were checking up there a little bit, and it almost seemed like you were dialing it back to try to save the car at all costs. And I don't blame you at all. But the call of not to pit. Whose call was that? Was that yours or Devin's?
I had made an adjustment on that brake to make the right rear a little less churny, I guess. And I think it was just enough to get me there without blowing the tire.
Wow. All right. Well, this is...
Justin was quicker, though. I think he'd have won.
Well, if you had pit, that'd have been it. That'd have been it. I think you staying out was probably the best call. If you were going to pit, I would have thrown right side tires on and gotten back out there just to see if you could, salvage 3 to 4 more seconds to get back out there. But you had one choice, and obviously it was the right one. If there's anything you would have changed here at this track, what would you have done to make this a more affirming win that you knew as soon as you put the car in the start that you were going to win this one?
I wasn't going to win with that setup without some luck or strategy, so probably just trying to get a better dialed-in setup, maybe.
All right. Well, definitely it's some trouble. I know the Lockridge Motorsports guys, and even you come out here and give a decent amount of testing to these cars. Obviously, the Gen 4s are not very friendly with Texas, but we move to Auto Club next week, which may be a little more favorable for these cars. It's going to be fast, a lot of door-to-door action, a lot of speed out there. Kind of what's your outlook moving into that track?
The setup there, I already know that it's better there, so we should have some good racing. Hopefully we have some people show up and have a good race.
All right, I hope so too. I think if we're able to fill it with about another 15 drivers, it should be definitely an awesome brawl out there. You guys will have something going on, and I believe, don't take my word for it, I believe that this should be your first win here with the NSR series.
In this Gen 4 car, yeah. I had a Hickory win a while ago.
What were you driving?
That was the new ARCA car, like right after it came out.
Oh, okay. That was a bit ago. I was
Pretty
going to say,
fun,
because I
actually.
thought you were top 3 during the Daytona race, and I didn't get you here in the booth. I think you scurried away too quick.
Probably. Sounds like me.
Yep. you get a little, don't get nervous. I don't bite. We just want to hear what you guys have to say and even what you feel behind the wheel as we take a ride along with you. How what other options that you guys can come up with, and definitely how what definitely could have changed. So go ahead, talk to me about your Ford Taurus out there in the 01 Tier 1 setup shop. Go and give me shout outs.
Just thanks, Devin, for letting me have a setup to race with, and a nice team, very friendly man. And thanks, Mark, to setting up this league. And thanks for broadcasting, Patrick.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. Lilith, a pleasure racing, watching you out there. Not the usual paint scheme I see you in, but definitely the race suit still remains. All right, Lilith, congratulations on your win here. Fantastic job. And we'll be rally capping for you again out there at Auto Club.
Good night.
Good night. All right, Lilith, with a race win here. This is going to be awesome for a deal. Look out there in the chat. Lockridge Motorsports even giving us a little extra insight out there. Look at that. He's going to release a baseline this week for anyone that wants to join the league this week. Awesome. Yeah, that might be something that'll help. I guarantee you that. Do not be afraid of the open setups, guys. I have actually been on the air in the broadcast to a guy who never even made a modification and won the race. I would say any modifications done to the car are for driver feeling, and so that they feel better behind the wheel and more confident. He felt perfectly confident with the setup that it came with. Now, will making adjustments give you an edge? Absolutely. Change a little bit of tire pressure can end up speeding you up a little bit, and that's exactly what you want, is just for the driver to be comfortable behind the car. If you see how Sumner was racing out there, he's a lot more aggressive, so he may need a little more wedge turn in the back. You see Lilith a little more kind of reserved here. This one may have required a little more tape on the front nose to help continue her speed and help with the fuel mileage. So other things like that, I digress, but we're going to go ahead and sign off here. SimTraX broadcasting on this fine Saturday night, bringing you the Gen 4 Cup Series. Guys, don't forget, we are also opening up a Tuesday series out there in the trucks. I think if that goes well, it may actually be the farm team out there for the Gen 4s, but we'll definitely hold on to that. Nora will be on Monday and Bandit on Wednesday. Boy, oh boy, are we getting busy here at SimTraX. If you guys are looking to get broadcasting, go ahead and turn your application in now, but keep an eye. Number one, look at my schedule. If you're asking about Tuesdays, I'm blocked up for Tuesdays. If you're asking about Mondays, I'm blocked up for Mondays. Looking for my open sheets before you turn in your applications. But from all of us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.